Good morning. Well, yesterday, August 6, 2021, we cooked dinner together, and this morning, Saturday, August 7, 2021, I like to spread the sourdough pizza. So how do you spread sourdough in the pan? We are going to work on that this morning. So let's get started. And as you can see, our sourdough is rising. We mixed it together yesterday evening. And you can see the starter that we mixed together with tap water and all-purpose flour is rising. And the reason why I cover with this is there is a fly in the house, and I do not want those small flies you see when you have a lot of raw banana around. Yeah, I do not want them to lay egg in my starter. So you can see the starter, it rose without problem, even though we use tap water, we use cold water, room temperature water, and we use all-purpose flour. So I'm just going to cover that, and I left it outside because tonight I might miss dough again. I might fill it again and miss dough. And I don't know if you noticed it, but yesterday evening I took it out from the fridge. I used it last Friday and Saturday, and I put it in the fridge on Sunday, and it has been on the fridge until yesterday evening when I took it out to feed it, and I used what I took out to make the dough. You can notice that the dough rose, and this one is more than double as well. So yes, you can save on flour when you do not feed it on a daily basis. You keep it in the fridge and you just take it out. That's the way I've been doing it. I take it out like yesterday. I missed the dough for the pizza, and it will be out until the evening, and I will feed it again, and I will take excess out to make another dough for pizza, and at that point I can leave it out until Sunday morning, and I'll put it away. So the dough that I will make tonight, to Sunday morning, I'll take a little bit out of that and I will put it on the side, which I will use to make the sourdough bread dough. I may not need to go back to this one, so I'll put it in the fridge on Sunday morning, or after leaving it out for 2-3 hours on Saturday night tonight, I might put it away, or wait until Sunday morning to put it away. And I will just take a little bit of the dough tomorrow morning to make the sourdough bread. And the reason why I would easily take out of the pizza dough to do that is because my pizza dough, I do not add salt to the dough or anything. So it's just the same culture tap brewing here, and that works just fine for us, and that will rise. And I'll do that on Sunday morning. So the dough I will make tonight, I will use a little bit of that on Sunday morning to make the dough for the sourdough bread, and I'll mix that in the morning of Sunday, and by the afternoon it will rise enough for me to get it ready to bake, because we might have salad on Sunday evening and we like to make our own bread. So I'm going to leave this for now. There is a nut in the house, so let me take care of that first. It's kind of big ants. I don't know where those things come from. Okay, so that is taken care of. So now let's wash your hand and we can get started. In case you are wondering, we use our own soap, and we sell it at ninassoap.com, and it does not have fragrance, it does not have any artificial additive. And we sell our own towel as well at ninassoap.com to wipe dishes, to wash dishes, and to wipe a hand. So we have some in the back room to wash hand, and we have some in the kitchen for dishes. And they can be found at ninassoap.com. So for our pizza, I like to use cast iron pan. So that's still our tower. Even when it's stone, we use them. So I'm going to get the cast irons out. That's where I like to keep them because they are, some of them are wider. Some of them are even in the basement, like the wok that we use for the popcorn. Speaking of popcorn, you can see what we have here from the one we put together yesterday. So yeah, and for the cast iron, I like to use large. And you can see the brand underneath it. So this is a lid. It was a combo purchased like this, and I use both for cooking, and I use it for lid when I make sourdough bread. When I make sourdough bread, I will have bread here. I will use pretty much the same recipe that we used yesterday for the sourdough. 6 cups of flour, 2 cups of water. That's what the same thing that I use for the sourdough bread. I just add sugar to it. And then I have a Dutch that has its own lid. So that's, I'll divide the dough in two for the sourdough bread, and it will be in those. But for the pizza, I'm going to use them all. So I'm going to pull them out. And I have baked some bread. I have pretty much warmed up some bread yesterday in the oven. And I have those crumbs that I didn't clean up, so I'm going to do that. And we will use this. This is very big. I'm not sure it has a size. It does not have a size, but it's still large. And probably 15 or 17 inches wide. So I'm going to be putting them in first. I have my peanut oil, 3 gallons. And I'm going to put a little bit of oil on in my pans. Now we use the pad that I put in the sink to wash dishes. Use that to wipe the neck of this. Just coat the inside and the Dutch. You can coat that as well. And we want our fingers to be coated with the oil as well. And yesterday the dough was on the dry side, so you'll notice that it didn't rise, like go over the dish, but I think that's just the normal. Sometimes it rises a little bit more than that, but I think it's well done. So let's get to this side. I will just mix it up a little bit. If it's sticking to my finger, I will just try to coat it with the oil in the pan. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to need anything, but I'm just going to spread the dough. There's not much measurements going on here. I just know where I wanted to put more than not. And I know that the biggest pan will get more. And we use 6 cups of flour, 2 cups of water. And this will go here. And in case you are wondering how much this pizza will cost, it will depend on the topping you wanted to put on it. But the crust itself should not cost you much, because the flour, 25 pounds, if you are using all-purpose flour, 25 pounds of flour is $5 something. So Walmart brand, $5 something. You can just say $6, and we use 6 cups of that. If it was 5-pound bag, which is like $1 something, we can just say $2. It is, we can just say half of that. So we can say the crust alone costs you about $1. So now I'll try to comb my fingers. We already wash your hand. So how do you spread your pizza dough? And that's pretty much, you use your fingers. I do not toss it in the air or anything. I just use my finger to spread it out, making sure the middle does not have too much. And I will spread it out evenly, but you don't have to be perfect. And when the dough is on the dry side, it does not spread easily. And when it's on the sticky side, it will spread like faster for you. But when you have the dough, it will work as well. Like you have a lot of dough compared to the size of the pan, it will work as well. So now we have it spread out in this one. I just make sure I'm pushing it from the middle to the edges, and I can make a little bit of, I don't know if you noticed it, but it's 3 something. When we started 3:05, or we just 3:10 in the morning. So by the time I'll get to it, it will double again or rise again. And that's sourdough. When you are using sourdough to make your own flour-based food, you pretty much use natural yeast to eat the gluten in the flour, so the end product might be less in gluten than you originally started. So this one is done. Let me move the second one here. Additionally, you do not need to buy yeast, so you can cross out yeast off of your grocery list. You just have flour to purchase, feed your culture like it is a pet, and you cook with it. Anything that requires a leavening agent, you have your sourdough to work with. So we do not purchase yeast anymore, at least since 2019. I purchased a bulk of it at Sam's Club, probably 2016, 17, or 18, and then I started using my sourdough constantly, and I just didn't use that yeast at all. Finally, I either send it to thrift store or toss it. So this one is done, and let's see here. Okay, move it. So in 2020, when my husband said that there was no yeast in the store, and one of his coworkers was wondering how he's going to bake bread, because he would like to bake bread, and he told him that I use sourdough culture to make bread. He wanted a recipe, so I thought, well, if one is looking for culture without finding it might be a good idea to show how to bake with sourdough culture. But then I said, well, sourdough culture, you have to create it. Unless you purchase it, you have to create it. So that's when I went ahead and made the videos on how to make sourdough culture. And at that time, up to that time, I used unbleached flour. But then I said, well, since there was not much on the shelves, maybe unbleached flour, which sometimes when I like to stock up on, you won't find many, because I like to, usually is 5 pounds. It's not like 25-pound bag. So, and I said, well, I'm going to use the flour that was available, that is easy for everybody to find, which is all-purpose flour. And up to that point, since we couldn't find unbleached flour, I started stocking up on all-purpose flour, and I baked with it and I was fine. So I used all-purpose flour for the first time to make sourdough culture. So the one that I have, that I had and I used to bake with, I originally made it probably in 2015 I started with all-purpose flour. So the recipe that I used, the instruction called for that. And after that, when I was done, the culture was ready to be used, I switched to unbleached flour, since that's what I used to cook with, and I'll use it to feed the dough as well. But in 2020, I made a video to show together how we will, if that will work, using all-purpose flour, which is easily accessible, and it worked. So I use it at the end to bake pizza and bread, and the culture I just mix it with the culture that I already have. So that's why you just saw in the jar, is that culture is changing, you know, because you feed it every day or once a week with flour and water, so it changes pretty much I would say the content change. So now we are done spreading out, though we are going to wash hand and wash our dish here. But I start using sourdough to bake when I start, pretty much it was a journey, you know. Little by little I was looking for different ways to use natural products at home. And I started that since 2012. No, in fact 2012, when I was expecting my second child, is when I started thinking more about, you know, natural products, natural alternative of products that we use on a regular basis. And then little by little I was, you know, changing it. So we started with the soap, moved to the towel, because a cloth diaper, my second child, and the first one started using cloth diaper at the age of 18 months, when they, shortly before the second child was born, and I have cloth diaper all three from that point. So since I saw the cloth diaper, I purchased some, and so some I purchased them, and then I noticed that, whoa, I can sew those myself. And I didn't want the insert the way they are, so multiple layers. Living in an apartment, it was not easy to dry those without using the dryer and pay for the dryer. So wanted to dry inside the apartment, I purchased bamboo towel, bamboo fabric and hem fabrics, and just cut them in flats. So I use flats, fold them in the diaper cover for the kids, and so fleece cover. After purchasing some and wool cover, I look at them and I say, well, I can sew those. So, and that's how later I switched to sewing towels as well, because my husband will complain that we are using a lot of paper towel, and with the kids it's just easy to grab a towel, wipe, and put in the trash. And I started thinking about, what I could do, and I came up with the idea of having towels, cloth napkins that we can use to replace paper towel. And so ever since then, we switched to cloth napkins in the kitchen and in the bathroom. And paper towel is one thing that we cross off our list as well. So we do not use paper napkin or paper towel in the house. And I believe we stopped purchasing those things since 2012, 13, probably. My husband has one around for a while that he used in his entertainment center to wipe VHS and all those things. But I think once he ran out of it, he stopped as well. And in 2015, when I was expecting my second child, I continued the journey, and up to that point, we switched to natural soap, the bar that we are using. We stopped using paper towel, paper napkin. And I decided to learn a little bit about fermentation, and I came across kombucha and kefir, milk kefir, and sourdough culture. So I do not drink coffee. Therefore, milk kefir, I purchased the culture, and I've been making milk kefir ever since. And search about sourdough culture, find the recipe, and make the sourdough culture from scratch. And I have it ever since as well, 2015, 2016. That's how old our sourdough culture is. And about the same time for our kefir. And I keep the kefir with milk on top of it in the fridge. Take it out, stir it, drain it for us to drink, and mix it with milk again and put it back in the fridge, or leave it out for a few hours and put it back in the fridge. If you have a lot of milk around, then I'll leave it out and drain it constantly after 24 hours. to have a lot of fermented milk in the fridge. And when I'm done using the milk, or if the milk is about to expire, I will use it to make the kefir, ferment the milk, and then I will feed the culture again, and I'll put it in the fridge. So having those things in the fridge, the sourdough culture and kefir culture, yeah, well, I don't have to feed them on a daily basis or anything like that. And the good things with the kefir culture, that's what we use for our salad. Like, pretty much it replaces the vinegar. And if you want to use vinegar, we can use apple cider, the raw apple cider. Or if I don't have it, even if I have it, I'll just use my fermented milk, mix it with oil, salt, chopped onion, and that's the dressing for our salad. You can see that when you cook from scratch, there are just those things that you can make easily, and you don't have to have every single ingredient at home with variety of distinct ingredients. With one thing, you can make multiple things. So we are going to put our doughs inside, but let me see if I have my camera here. I can take picture of them. Yeah, I still have it at home. I didn't put it away yesterday. And you can see it's 3 in the morning. And I'll put this one down. The biggest one will go in. That one will go, and this one will go. Keeping them in the cold oven, they stay moist and rise. So if the air is very dry, you can just put a cup of water in it as well to keep it moist, to keep the air not too dry in the oven. But they will say that they're not going to dry out, they will just work. So let me wash my hand here. And little by little, as I start switching to natural alternative, is how I stop using my copper. Now I think it's called high anodized pan that I used to have. Once they are now in good shape, I switch to 3-ply stainless steel and cast iron. And continue, a little by little, I move away from plastic containers to glass. So you'll notice that I use glass bowls quite a bit. Yes, let me turn this off here. So pretty much we are done here, and I'll go in the office while the children are sleeping. You know, I will start working a little bit. So let's get there. So if you are an employee, well, it's good to have multiple sources of income. And our channel is about different ways you can save money and different ways you can make money to reach your financial independence. And we just share what is tips that works for us on our YouTube channel and our blog. So as an employee, you don't want to depend on your employers to feed your family, to put food on the table for your family, and you are working hard for your money. So you do not want to live above how much you make. Rather, you should live within and below how much you bring home. And while you save, you put it to work to create multiple sources of income. And little by little, over time, they all add up and will easily equal, if not more, than what you make from your employer. At that point, you know that you do not depend on your job to feed yourself and your family, to provide for your needs. You like your job and you work there because you like it, not because you have to. So creating multiple sources of income is important, and saving money is important as well, because you want to manage your money properly and put the excess to work. But to have that excess, you have to plan strategically and be able to save. Otherwise, it's easy. Our want is, you cannot put a cap on our wants. Our need, yes. Our wants, we usually want a lot of things. So it is our job to know what is very necessary, what we can purchase, and what we don't have to purchase. Yes, it's okay to provide for some of your wants, but you just don't want to lose focus of your goal and see, and plan accordingly. So if you are somebody that not like to depend on other people and like to plan for your retirement so that you don't depend on your children, well, you need to live within your income and save some to create multiple sources of income. So let's go in my office, and I will probably share one of my products that I sold to sell in our business. And our business is a business as well, because I work and I'm creating multiple sources of income so that I do not depend on my employer to provide for my need and my family's need. So now we learn how we make some of our dishes from scratch to save money. So let's go and take a look at one way that we try to make money, save money, make money. So let me see, take this one off. I will need to turn this light off here. Sometimes I like to set my office for sewing. That way in the morning I don't have to set it up. But every day when I'm done working, I like to have my desk clean, empty. So I like to charge this here. And we wash hand already, so like to bring my blanket so that I can use, because it can be chilly here. I have space here. I can turn my computer on very quickly because I like to know. In fact, I can just say 3 in the morning is when I start getting ready to film the sourdough and all that, so I can use 3. At this point it's 3:46, so it's very important for me to track the time that I spend working on the business. So we do have time log spreadsheet that we sell at liberdownload.com, and I use the same one to track time that I spent working on the business. If you are looking for time log, you can find it at liberdownload.com. But I believe we have a free version as well at ninasoap.com, the blog, under free downloads. So the machine that I purchased to sew diapers, 2012, is what I use in the business. Since I can So yes, you can turn what you like to do into a source of income. You know, you can, or money making machine. If you can make $100 off of it, you can turn it into an income productive activity. Okay, so let's see here. I need to have the towels here. And those napkins are 12 inches by 12 inches in average. Sometimes they can be less than that, like 11 inches. And they're not always square. So you can sew it for your own household and you can sew it for sale as well. Let me see if I can move them to the other side. And you can use them to wipe dishes. They are flour sack napkin, and you can use them to wash dishes when you fold them in two, or you can use them in the bathroom to wipe a hand. So everybody use one once when they use the bathroom, and that way you do not use regular hand towel in the bathroom, and you do not use paper towel. When they are dirty, you just wash them in hot water, dry them, and you are ready to replenish your stock. They dry very fast too. 100% cotton, so you can make those yourself if you know how to sew. Or you can purchase them at ninassoap.com. The link will be in the description. And any skills you have, you use for yourself or your household, somebody is looking for that service, may not know how to do it or may not have time to do it, so you could turn it into a money making machine. If you can make $100 off of that skill, well, you have 10 of that, that's 1,000. And if that's $100 a year, that's 1,000 a year. And if that's 100 a month over time, then that turns into 1,000 a month. came back to where I started. Back stitch to make a knot, and I'll cut it. So instead of looking for different part-time jobs in addition to your job, might be good idea to think about the skills that you have that you can turn into a source of income. So you can see the size in average. So yeah, while the kids are sleeping, I might just, you know, get some work done business wise and see how much I can get done. And yes, when you have a job, try to save how much you are bringing home so that you can turn them into, you can put your money to work. It could be investing in the stock market or starting your own business, but it's good to do both. It is good to do both. So thank you so much for your time. I'm Afiavi-Odjounin, Liberman, creators of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, Liberman Consulting L.L.C podcast, ninasoap.com our blog, and you can find free downloads on our website for digital products, and we do sell digital product at liberdownload.com. We do have a store for our natural products, ninasoap.com, where we sell soap towels and everything made out of natural fibers like cotton, bamboo, or hemp. And we have custom apparel t-shirts at liberlabel.com, and that's where those t-shirts are going. We purchase them from China to private labeling process. So, and have a bunch of them to, they have been put in our inventory already, but I still need to take picture of them and then put them away. So I've been doing that little by little. And we have liberoutlets.com, where we resell products. My camera is now straight, and you can see some of those products probably there. We purchase them through retail arbitrage. When they are on sale in the store, we purchase them to resell at liberoutlets.com, and more importantly on eBay and Mercari. So that's different ways to make money. We have Etsy store, eBay, Mercari, but we want to create our own website to sell our product, because when you have a business, it's good to have a location for that business. So having your own website is important, in my opinion, whether it's WordPress platform that you use or Shopify. So I use WordPress, but yes, and if you are thinking long term, that's a strategy to think about. So investing your excess of your income, investing into your business, start a business, focusing on the skills that you have. Don't underestimate any of your skills, because somebody may not have time to do those things that you are so good at doing, or somebody may not have that skills. We all have different talents, so put yours to work. You are using it for your own benefit and your household, so put that into service by serving others and putting those and sell those skills. It will generate income for you. It'll help somebody else, and we all will benefit from it. So yes, save your income, live below your income, and use the excess to generate multiple sources of income. So that's the objective of our channel. That's why you'll see we don't focus on one thing, because to us is all about different things that can help us reach that goal, including gardening, because it's all about saving money while we eat healthy. We do not want to compromise our health, so we take all that into consideration and we share all of that on our website. Thank you so much for your time. We wish you the best. Thank you for your time. So I will continue with sowing this morning. Thank you.